There is something called as the credit worthiness of a customer or a consumer. In the US, your credit worthiness is predetermined by virtue through your social security number. And when you go out to take a loan, a housing loan or any other kind of loan, you will be clearly told based on your credit worthiness at what percentage you will be getting the interest for the loan that you're taking. If your credit worthiness is great, then the interest rates are low. If your credit worthiness is not that great, then the interest rates are high. As simple as that. But in India, we do not have such systems. What we do have are 4 credit bureaus. One, namely, you must have definitely heard of, it's called CIBIL, and there are 3 others. There's Fairfax and there are a couple of others. So these 4 are the credit bureaus that essentially track the credit worthiness of customers in India. Exactly 4 of them. And guess what has happened? The Reserve Bank of India, in a first of sorts, has come down heavily upon all 4 of these credit bureaus for not keeping the right information regarding the customers, not updating the credit worthiness of their customers, and also not telling the customers any discrepancies that may exist based on the data for their credit worthiness. So this is the first of sorts, and this is very important because we're looking at a future where when you go out there, get a credit card, start spending on the credit card, start repaying the credit card bills, your pattern is tracked and your credit worthiness is approved. Now the question here is, if the data is not tracked properly, as in that you've paid back some of these credit card dues and that has not been updated, you're still seen as a defaulter, and the next time you go to get a loan, there's a good chance that your credit worthiness seems extremely low and that bank that you're asking a loan for will be denying you that loan. And that's the problem here. That's how you, the consumer, will get affected if all these credit rating bureaus don't do their jobs correctly. I'm going to bring this back to the gentleman in the studio, Amit and Karthik. Amit, you want to take a stab at this? Talk to us, 4 credit bureaus. Talk to us about those 4 credit bureaus and what exactly is going on with them.
What reminds me of the situation is the popular line, best of times and worst of times for consumers. It's a roll of the dice. People who may be eligible for a good loan may not get it. People who are not eligible for a good loan may get it because the information is warped. Okay. So, and the penalties are heavy. So, look at it. TransUnion CIBIL 26 lakhs. CRIF Highmark 25.75 lakhs. Equifax 24.25 lakhs and Experian Credit Services 24.75 lakhs. These are huge penalties. It's a huge clampdown.
Huge. I mean, 25 lakhs for CIBIL, 26 lakhs. What is it's peanuts. I mean, for the kind of grave mistakes they seem to have made, allegedly the kind of mismatch inaccuracies, these are, I mean, they've been let go of fairly easily. If this is the only penalty structure we are talking about, I think there should have been some punitive action against these agencies as well.
But Karthik, this is the punitive action that the RBI is taking. It's
25 lakh rupees? 25 lakh rupees? Seriously?
Well, I mean, we're also talking about an economy where the idea of credit worthiness is not something that's fully explored. I mean, we're not the US, we are in India. Credit worthiness in the US is a big deal. It's what, when your student loan and, on your housing loan, how well you pay back your student loan decides how good a housing loan you get. Your life gets tracked from your student loan days onwards.
Absolutely.
That's how it's in the US.
Absolutely.
In India, you know what I'm talking about. There is no clear system where, you defaulted on something so long before that you will not get a loan today.
No, what I'm saying is it's a first.
Yeah.
These 4 agencies were given 30 days by the RBI to prove or give their report on why this penalty should not be imposed. They were not able to do that. So that means the problem is really grave. They were given that chance, and after that these penalties were imposed. So it's a bigger problem. Probably it's going to unfold a little bit more, or it is going to be papered over. Either ways.
That's a good point, isn't it, Karthik? 2 things can happen. As you're saying, the fines that have been levied on these 4 credit bureaus, Amit, if you can tell us the names of the credit bureaus just for clarity's sake.
Experian, Equifax, CRIF Highmark and TransUnion CIBIL.
TransUnion CIBIL. So these CIBIL scores, Karthik, are very famous and very common amongst people. You get it on your email all the time, don't you? Your CIBIL score is fantastic. So hence, you get a loan. But here's the deal. You're saying the penalties levied on these 4 credit bureaus are low. But I am just happy that there is focus on credit rating.
Yes.
They will say better credit rating, better data management of customers,
Totally.
and also making sure there are no discrepancies so the deserving candidates get the loan.
Absolutely. Can't disagree with you on that at all. I just feel there should have been stricter action. And of course, if these discrepancies were there, enough and more should have been done before imposing the fine by way of show cause notices, warnings, smaller fines, etc., which may have happened. I don't know. I mean, it should have happened for them over the years to correct these discrepancies. Now, like Amit rightly said, an undeserving candidate could very well walk away with a loan because of a discrepancy in the system, which gave that individual a high credit-worthy score, as opposed to somebody who has perhaps never taken a loan in his life, does not have a credit card, and hence no question of a default because of these data inaccuracies, is unable to secure the first loan. So these inaccuracies impact common people every day, those who need access to finance, those who need access to credit get denied because of inaccuracy. It's a problem which should entail a penalty much higher than 26 lakh rupees to my mind, right? And for those who have a low credit score, but because of the inaccuracies in the system, end up getting a bigger loan and defaulting on that loan, again, I feel the 24, 25 lakh rupees, 26 lakh rupees penalty is very less for enabling an individual on the basis of these ratings to default, right? And bring the shame as well as the onus back on the taxpayers to keep those banks where the NPAs have emerged afloat. So, but yeah, coming back to the point, I think CIBIL and the rest of them as well, CIBIL, I know for sure, does get initiated and accepts you as a member to track as soon as you have your PAN card and your first bank account. So it knows for a fact your first credit card, any auto loan, any other additional credit card, any default is supposed to squarely get captured at all these four credit bureaus, right? Now, if that default has happened, of course, there is a problem and that problem needs to be rectified. So I think I would emphasize more on this 30-day window for the discrepancies to be erased as opposed to, getting jubilant about the 26 lakh rupees that they've been asked to pay.
Fair enough.
It's a first and it's out in the public. So I believe that is a start at least.
Yeah, of course. It's a start.
That's where we all three of us converge. It's a good start, but it's just a start. Because, the problem you're talking about why it's grave is that if you get this wrong, if the credit bureaus get it wrong, A, what's going to happen? Two consequences. You enable a defaulter.
Yeah.
You enable a defaulter, and two, you deny credit to somebody who deserves it.
Absolutely.
And so both of these are problematic. If you have problems with NPAs in banks, this means that you're going to be willfully creating more NPAs in banks. So, that's the problem. That's how grave the problem is, ladies and gentlemen.
And consumers now know that CIBIL is not sacrosanct. That is the bigger problem. CIBIL was till today was sacrosanct.
Absolutely.
At least I thought so.
Yeah, even we all thought once there's a
so.
CIBIL score, that's the end of things. But looks like that's not the end of things. Lots more needs to be done to make sure all this credit rating is done correctly, data is updated correctly, discrepancies are taken away correctly, so that the right people get the loans and those who don't deserve it don't get it. But I'm going to stay with the RBI, Karthik, because there's a related story. Just to quickly discuss it, there is the now you're taking the auditors and the companies who audit other companies. Now they're being taken to task as well. National Financial Reporting Authority, which is the regulator of auditors, they've also been told that just because an auditor resigns from the company, he or she cannot be absolved of all the misdeeds of the company's books just because they have resigned from the company.
Yeah.
So there is action happening from both ends, from regulators, and there is RBI cracking down upon credit rating bureaus, and then there's the National Financial Reporting Authority cracking down upon auditors. Where companies' books have a problem, and yet auditors have resigned. Well, they can't be let go scot-free. That's the latest that we understand here.